Check. Here we go. The biggest mistake I made as a real estate photographer was trying to do everything myself. And for a while, I was proud of it. I edited all my own photos, I edited all my own videos, delivered every project, handled all the client communication, did the marketing, built my website, built my social media. If somebody needed something, it came through me. The problem was, eventually I hit a ceiling. Not because I couldn't get more clients, but I couldn't handle any more work. There were plenty of weeks where I was shooting homes most of the day, editing photos in the night, taking too long to edit videos, answering emails, texts, and still trying to make YouTube content. Everything suffered. The photos weren't as good, the videos weren't as good. I wasn't building a company, I was maintaining a workload. And every time I tried to outsource something, it just felt like I was losing control, my patience was limited. Why wasn't it right? Eventually I realized I wasn't losing control, I was gaining freedom. And to be honest, most people don't even know the difference between me and somebody else doing it. So in this video, I'm breaking down everything I outsource, what I still do myself, and what I recommend outsourcing first if you're trying to grow without working every single night. Number 7 is the one most photographers don't even see coming. Let's get into it. My name is Cole Connor and I was put here to do 3 things. Create, inspire, love. Thanks for being here. Let's get into it. What's going on? My name is Cole Connor. I've built 2 real estate photography businesses, one on the East Coast, one on the West, shot thousands of homes, and now I'm teaching people like you how to do the same. We're closing in on 1.5 million views on YouTube, so please subscribe if you haven't. We got presets, workflows, everything in the description. Let's get into it. If you're new here, what's up? Let's start with the first thing I outsourced. Photo editing. I started with overseas editors, and as time went on, I started to use a multitude of different tools, editors, my own presets, Fotello, Draft 360. The options are limitless. This is where I think most photographers should start, but not immediately. One thing I see newer photographers doing is outsourcing before they even understand editing. I even made a whole video on it here. Editing is so important. Learn it first. It taught me what good editing is, what good color looks like, how to spot bad verticals, and how to create my own style. It's the reason I was able to create presets that people actually use and buy, which ended up being one of my biggest content pieces of all time. I'm so glad I learned it. And honestly, it took me years to really learn it properly. But I'm also glad I stopped doing it myself. You really cannot shoot 5 homes a day, come home, edit them, deliver them the next morning without going crazy. I don't want to repeat that same process over and over and over and over and over again. I'll get bored. You don't want to live behind a computer. Once I understood the process, there isn't a ton of value in me being the one to press every button. And if someone wants me to be the one editing it, then you got to pay more. If you're looking for an editor, join the Facebook groups. So many options. You probably have already gotten hit up if you have a real estate photography business. They're on Instagram, they're on WhatsApp, they're everywhere. Price ranges from 50 cents to $1.50. Really, interior design architecture edits can continue to go up from there. AI editing is usually cheaper. That's why some people resort to things like Fotello. Or if you have tools like Draft 360, they do all the editing for you. It's included in the monthly cost of the camera, which is very unique. Don't forget, you get 10% off Draft 360 using my code Cole Connor. Number 2, video editing. God, I fought this one hard. This is the one I regret waiting on because I convinced myself no one could edit the way that I wanted and that mattered a lot. There's some truth to it. I mean, there's still projects that I do want to edit myself for the bigger ones. But looking back, a lot of the resistance was ego. At one point, I was spending 3 to 5 hours editing one single listing video, and what should take 2 days was 3, 4, 5 days. It's too long. If you're doing 3 to 4 of those a week, that's a part-time job just for the video editing. I remember sitting in front of my computer one night and I was just like, why am I doing this? I've already shot the property, I've met with the client, I've done the hard part. Why am I spending evenings editing these real estate videos? The second I outsourced it, I got huge chunks of my time back, but unfortunately some of the damage was already done. I lost clients because I didn't outsource sooner. Now I spend $40 to $120 on edits of videos, whether that's short reels or long luxury cinematic content. Most of the ones that I do cost me around $50. Saves me so much time. I found video editors the same way that I found photo editors. I think this one particularly reached out to me. Number 3, floor plans, virtual staging, property enhancements. Honestly, this is where outsourcing can get a little bit complicated because outsourcing helps you scale, but it can also destroy your margins. Every time you add another vendor, you're adding another cost, another invoice, another subscription. It's hard to keep up with, and it's another thing to manage. I think a lot of photographers underestimate how quickly this adds up. Let's say you shoot a vacant listing and the agent wants photos, a floor plan, virtual staging, and a virtual tour. 5 years ago, that might have meant sending files to 3 or 4 different vendors. One company for floor plans, one company for staging, one company for tours, Outsource. This is where companies like Draft 360, who sponsor this channel and support media creators all around the world, really change the game. With Draft, all those deliverables come from one capture, and they live in the same ecosystem. So instead of constantly adding more tools and more vendors, you're simplifying the workflow, and the client gets things back faster. I'll be straight with you though, if you don't already know how to create great images, no platform can fix that. What it does do though is create predictability. From floor plans to the hosting to the virtual staging, your clients will know what they're gonna get. And as your business grows, that's incredibly valuable. The goal is a workflow that's efficient, repeatable, and profitable. Draft 360 is the only company putting all this in the same place, making it easy for us, and packaging it in a way that's desirable to clients, to agents. Check the link in the description. Like I said, you get 10% off using the code ColeConnor for Draft 360. I can't even keep up with all the different services from their AI kitchen to the standard floor plans and virtual staging, but I do know when I need anything of that sort, they've got it covered, and I don't have to spend the time learning how to do every individual thing. So thank you. Number 4, admin work. What's funny is that editing isn't always the thing that takes over your business. It's everything else: scheduling, calendar management, texting clients, data entry, delivery tasks, CRMs. None of it takes that long individually, but it adds up and it's distracting. This is where a good virtual assistant can help. Now, I know a lot of people who use virtual assistants. I've had a lot reach out to me. I actually used one, not really for admin work, but for marketing. I'll tell you about that in a second. But you can hire from admin work. You can also hire your own secretary. You can hire your own actual assistant. Whatever works for you. I don't personally do this. I handle it all myself. But if I got much busier, I would heavily consider it. I don't mind scheduling stuff because it's kind of exciting, but eventually it would be overwhelming. And I know people swear by them, so it's a thought. Number 5, marketing and lead generation. For the first 4 months of the year, I leaned into this heavily. I hired a virtual assistant for 12 hours a week, 3 days, 4 hours a day. Marketing today doesn't have to be that complicated. Sometimes it's just liking, commenting, following people, sending emails, calling people, sending texts. There's a part of marketing that is that. Now, a lot of my marketing is content marketing, sending people to my website, trying to make sure my website looks good and makes people want to book. But a part of it is social media. So what I had her doing was liking, commenting, following, messaging. We tried cold calling, we tried cold texting, we did cold emailing, we did warm emailing. And to be honest, I don't know if we got any clients from it. She did 16 hours a week for about 3 months, maybe 4. And that was kind of disappointing. I felt like maybe I was doing something wrong. My business is growing. I'm wondering, and it's hard to put a number to if she helped or she didn't help. I do know I liked the engagement that we were getting, and I will consider hiring her or another VA again because I do think it's helpful just from a brand standpoint, brand reach standpoint. But yeah, in those 4 months, it just didn't really bring in anything. Bottom line is business growth sometimes is a lot of boring things happening, and if you're the business owner, you don't really need to spend time on it. Number 6, content creation. This is another area that surprised me because content creation feels like marketing, but eventually it becomes like a production company. Film, edit, you make thumbnails and you cut them into shorts. You post everything, you answer comments, then you start over. At some point I realized I was building a second business on top of my other business. I want to be the one coming up with the ideas. I want to be the one on camera. I want to be building my own personal brand. That part is me. But the production, the editing, it doesn't have to be as much me. You don't have to become a full-time editor just to market yourself. Honestly, there's a specialist for every piece of the process. In my ideal world, I would have someone helping me film. Honestly, they don't even have to help me film that much. Maybe just B-roll. But like right now, what I'm doing, they don't really need to help me do that. Help me with the editing. Help me with the posting. I post so much. And I'm posting versions on all these different social media accounts. I'm writing articles and blog posts. It takes so much time. But my experience so far is I outsource the editing of a couple YouTube videos because I'm getting sponsors and I'm growing and I feel like momentum is really building continuously. I'm coming up on 6,000 subscribers, which is growing at a more rapid rate. And so I thought that it would be helpful, but maybe it's just ego still, but it just didn't quite feel like it was capturing what I typically capture. And I don't have the budget to invest. And I wasn't giving them crazy edits, just talking head. It just didn't feel worth it. I don't know. But my next, when it comes to content creation, will be the funnel of posting and the blog posts. And then eventually would be a full-time editor / part-time B-roll helper. We'll see. Number 7. the photography itself. This is where I think a lot of photographers get uncomfortable. Most photographers don't actually want a business. They want to be photographers. There's nothing wrong with that. I love shooting. I love shooting. I don't love shooting the same type of house every day, but I love when it's a beautiful day, I get a coffee, it's a slow, chill morning, I go to a beautiful mid-century modern house in Los Angeles, and I have plenty of time, and I'm not rushed, I'm getting paid appropriately. That's beautiful. But if your goal is building a company, eventually the company has to work without you. That's where associate photographers, subcontractors, second shooters come in. The biggest real estate photography companies aren't built around one photographer. They build teams. They grow. You put all your money in marketing and brand building. They're built around systems. The owner is not shooting every property. My personal favorite way that I've seen is you grow till you're too busy, and then you have other photographers that you know and trust aren't gonna steal your shit. You hire them, you give them 50%, 60, 70% of the profit, and then you just do a cut on top. I've also seen people pay photographers really cheap, like 15, 20% of the shoot. I've seen people do an hourly wage. I've seen people hire them on full time. Lots of different ways to do it. But I know I love working for the people who give me majority of the cut. I treat their clients like my clients because they're trusting me with that. And I built a good relationship. It's really the way if you really want to scale it. You don't have to, you can just keep raising your prices. Maybe you start charging 5, 6, 7K a shoot. You do a couple shoots a week, you're making bank. If I'm not going to scale a company, that's the route I really would want to go, is I'm just doing a couple shoots a week. I'm getting paid very well for those shoots. I'm doing an amazing job. I'm making YouTube videos. That's a life. If I had to start over tomorrow, here's the order I'd outsource in. Learn photo editing myself, then outsource it. Learn video editing, then outsource it. While that's happening, I'm not trying to learn every single way to do virtual staging and floor plans. I'm gonna get something like Giraffe 360 so it knocks all those out. They're staying on top on every single cutting edge marketing thing you can do for your agents. Let them do their job. Then as I grow and my time, I'm just shooting and sending things out, I'm starting to get someone to help me with admin work and reaching out, marketing. After all that, it's honestly just the order I just told you. Then I would start looking at associate photographers once I get so slammed and I just need second shooters. The things I still keep my hands on: relationships, strategy, the vision, the brand, the direction of the business. Everything else is kind of negotiable. If this helped, hit subscribe. I'll catch y'all next time. Thank you so much. Peace. Hi there. Thanks for watching. If you really liked it, maybe you'll like some of these too. While you decide, here's some music. Enjoy.